Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews. Today I'm back down working with Zeigler Yacht Sales, checking out one of his latest listings. This time it's a 1998 Mainship 350. And at the time of shooting this video, she was up for sale for $144,950 and laying in Jacksonville, Florida. This one's been meticulously maintained and has had the same owner for the last 18 years. The boat spent most of its life in Canada. A couple of years ago it moved down south to enjoy the warmer weather, and just recently she's returned from the Bahamas on a cruise right before being put on the market. And as far as I can tell, she is ready to go again. One thing I love with Mainships is everything about them is low maintenance. There's no woodwork on here that you have to worry about maintaining. You've got easy access up to the bow. You get plenty of room in that coach roof if you wanted to sit out. On the bow you're going to see here we've got a Lumar anchor windlass. We also have a 35-pound Delta, and that's connected to 150 feet of chain and 150 feet of road. You see we've also got a spare anchor in here as well. We've got a deck wash system and also easy access to the shore power connections on the bow. As I pan round, this one's got a timeless design to her. She looks brand new in my opinion. The boat's just been professionally waxed from the waterline to the bridge. All metals have been polished. And in the description to the video, I'm going to copy in all the maintenance that's been carried out since it's such an extensive list over the past couple of years. But this also includes fitting solar panels to the top of that bimini top on the Flybridge. And as I make my way aft, you see that we have got easy access to the main deck from the lower helm. This is ideal for close quarter manoeuvring, especially if you're doing it single-handed. And then for a boat of this size and design, she's got a very spacious aft cockpit. This one's been designed for multi-purpose. You can easily use this and put a couple of chairs out here and enjoy cruising, but you can also use this for both fishing and diving. You see here we've got hooks underneath. We've also got a self-draining cockpit. Again, there's more shore power connections. And then for storage, we've got insulated self-draining storage compartments. And this means you can fill it full with ice and you can put some fish bait in here or bring home the catch, but you can also use it just as general storage, such as for ropes and fenders. And we've got the same setup in both the port and starboard quarter, but in the port quarter we've also got the shower, so that way you can rinse off if you've been out enjoying the water before heading into the accommodation. And I just love how well polished this whole entire boat is. You'd swear it had just been repainted, but this is all original. It's just been lovingly maintained by its current owners. There's a couple of compartments on the deck. This main one you see here in the aft. This gives you easy access to all your steering gear. Perfect if you want to do any inspections, any repairs. And if you're careful, you can use it for storage as well. And in front of that, we have got the main lazarette. This is ideal again for more storage, but down here you're also going to find we've got an Onan 8 kilowatt generator. That's got approximately 1500 hours on the clock. You also have access to all your electrical inverters, your battery chargers, and solar panel connections. And before heading inside, also wanting to point out the rod holders that you have in both the port and starboard quarter on the actual frame for the hardtop. It's like an extended flybridge. It gives you extra protection. But we also have a substantial transom door that not only gives you easy access, but also is a great way for landing that catch if you're into the fishing side of things. And for cruising, that davit system allows the dinghy to remain horizontal and be lifted quickly with the motor and fuel tank still in place. But when you do drop that down, it also becomes a boarding ladder so you can easily climb back on board. Then once you step inside, this one just feels like home. It just feels like you want to go cruising in it. I love the fact that all the breaker panels are right at the entrance. It's easy to put on the lights and things like that when you're boarding. You've got approximately 6.5 feet headroom throughout. There's always handholds to easily grab onto. You've got the saloon to starboard and the galley to port. And if you do want to use this either for liveaboard use or for extended cruising, there are storage options everywhere on this boat. And I also like the fact that everything seems to slide into place, lock into place. Nothing's going to open while the boat's underway. We even have more storage up overhead. And for a boat that's over 25 years old, you would never know it when you look at the woodwork, when you look at the different fittings and fixtures, because everything's been so well maintained or has been recently upgraded. And there's a large number of windows or hatches on this yacht, and I like the fact that almost all of them are able to open, and that way you get extra fresh air and ventilation whenever you want. Moving on to the galley, and you've got this LG. This is a convection microwave oven that's been recently upgraded. And then you've also got a recently upgraded fridge and freezer setup down below. And again, the fridge and freezer both have a little hinge, where that way it can lock into place as the doors don't open. The galley itself has got a good amount of countertop space. There's plenty of drawers and lockers. There's a tremendous amount of natural light, but there's also plenty of artificial light if you need it. And then you've got a Princess 3-burner electric stovetop, and then you've got the oven underneath. But the galley's got a perfect setup, and that way you can enjoy all your favourite meals while living on board. And then facing forward, this one's got a deep stainless steel sink, and it's also got an adjustable head on that faucet, so that way you can adjust the angle of the spray. And this is probably a good time to point out that this one carries 130 gallon freshwater capacity. She's got 30 gallon holding tank capacity and 300 gallons of fuel capacity. To starboard is where you're going to find the saloon, and this one's got very comfortable seating. It's also got that cockpit table which is easily to move around. And in the starboard quarter we've got a kind of like little desk setup area. You could easily pop a laptop up here, but it'd also be a good spot for doing your charts and navigation, plotting out your next course. But what I wasn't expecting to find is that this one's now got a Seawater Pro water maker. It makes 40 gallons per hour. This was installed in September last year at approximately $5,000. And from this angle you'll see that cockpit table. You can raise and lower it. You can adjust the height to suit, so that way you can have it low down for drinks or high up for meals. And underneath the base of the seats is actually more storage. And then that brings us to the lower helm. Again, you get that easy access side door to the main deck. And this one's a single diesel. You've obviously got your full engine instrumentation. You can control the windlass from here. You've also got your VHF radio. You've got your autopilot. I'm not sure if you can make this out in the video, but she's got 2,598 hours on the clock. You've then got your speed, log and depth. And this one's single diesel, but she does have a powerful bow thruster installed. You've then got the compass in front of you. And there's great visibility from the lower helm. And that main window that you see in the middle, that one also opens, again if you want more fresh air while you're cruising. It's just a few short steps down to the lower accommodation. There's easy handholds in place for that. You're going to find the guest cabin to port. Again, this cabin's got an opening porthole. There's also hanging locker space. There's also a hatch overhead. I also want to point out that there is no smells on board. I know you're not going to pick that up in the video, but there's no smells of dampness, mold, mildew, anything like that. And even when you open the doors to the hanging locker space, normally that's when you sometimes smell it. There's nothing on this one at all. As well as having this large double berth, there's actually more storage which is tucked away in this little nook in the side too. And if I lift this mattress up, you'll see that there's even more storage compartments underneath the bed itself. And then on the bows where you're going to find the owner's cabin. This one's got a large island berth, easily accessible on either side. There's opening portholes to the side of the coach roof, but you also have a large hatch overhead that opens as well. This yacht's currently moored in undercover storage, so there's not as much natural light coming through as you would expect. And again, this cabin's got plenty of locker space, drawers and cabinets. And there's only one heads compartment on board, but you do have private access to that heads from the owner's stateroom. And then here you'll see that there's plenty of storage space for your toiletries and personal belongings. You've got a separate toilet to the shower compartment. That way you've got more space to use either side. And for the shower, notice it's also got that little seat that's moulded into the side of the fiberglass, so that way you can stand up and enjoy the shower, but you can sit down if you need to as well. Then to make our way back outside, I'll take you up to the Flybridge, but as I do so, notice the thick pile carpeting that's on here. I'm barefoot walking through this yacht and it's extremely comfortable walking around. It really does feel like you're in a floating home, and I mean that in a positive way. But when you do go up to the Flybridge, there's a great handrail to hold on to. It makes it really easy for anybody to climb up here. It's also got courtesy lights built into it, which I'm sure helps at night. And then one big advantage of the Mainship is that this one is capable of doing a great loop. So you don't need to have any of those bridge height restriction concerns that most people have whenever planning the perfect boat for the voyage. And this one's been equipped with cruising in mind from the Flybridge rather than the lower helm. And up here you can see things like the man overboard recovery system. We also have a manual winch up here. And my favourite, we've also got the Magma outdoor grill that you can hook up to a propane tank up here as well. And then I was impressed with the enclosure that we have for the Flybridge. As I mentioned earlier, there's solar panels mounted on the top of this, but it is all easy to, you can remove in sections, you can also bring that entirely down, or you can have it fully enclosed. All depends on the weather, on your personal preference. You'll easily seat 5, maybe more adults up here in comfort, and underneath the seats on either side, these have actually got storage built into them. Again, there's courtesy lighting that you can see that's mounted. And then we've also got a cockpit table in the middle, and that cockpit table's got additional storage compartments too. And without getting a tape measure out, it feels like the helm position in this one is dead centre on the yacht. I've got as much room to the port and starboard, bow and stern, and it just feels like you get great panoramic visibility for both cruising and also for doing the close quarter manoeuvring. You see here we've got full electronics. This one's got the engine controls, the VHF, the autopilot. But unlike the lower helm, this one's also got the Raymarine multifunction display up here. It's got radar, it's got sonar, it's got chart plotter. Still got your stereo controls, your bow thruster, your trim tabs. And all the toggle switches are clearly labelled so it's easy to work out what to switch on or off. And even with the enclosure fully in place, I've still got great visibility. And this one's even got the option for the side that if you wanted to, you can open it but drop down mesh screens, and that way you're going to get fresh air, but you're not going to get all the bugs coming in while you're cruising as well. And then finally, I'm going to take you back down below and I'll show you the engine compartment. The engine room in this one is stored underneath the main saloon and galley area. And what you're going to find here is a Caterpillar 3116 diesel engine. This is approximately 300 horsepower. As I mentioned earlier, it's got around 2600 hours on the clock. This should allow you to cruise somewhere around 10 to 12 knots, and she's probably got a top end speed of around 14 knots. And because she's single screw, there's so much more room for doing all your servicing and maintenance. There's no signs of any leaks of any sort, whether that be water, diesel, oil, or transmission fluid. And on the starboard side of the engine room, you've even got storage space in here where you can put things like the oil for doing any maintenance that way. I love the fact that because of where the engine's located, there's as much natural light in here for doing any work. And I only lifted 2 of the 3 floorboards up, but there is a third floorboard that can be removed as well. And on the port side of the hull, you'll see that's where a lot of the components of the water maker are. So everything on board is easily accessible for servicing and maintaining. As far as I can tell, this one's ready to go, turnkey condition. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you can leave a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, if you can hit that like and subscribe button. I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.